G'day, g'day. Hopefully everything works. NotJah Witness here with B. Millsabub, who seems to have been somewhat frozen. That's not a good way to start a stream. Are you still there, Bubs? I have a feeling that he's not. So get everybody in the chat. We're doing a dual stream discussing the atrociously short sentencing of Cardinal Pell. There's probably going to be a lot of swear words. Unfortunately, everything seems to be fucking up right now. Is the stream going okay at the moment, guys? Mine is buffering like nothing else, which is disappointing. Okay, the Hangouts has died. That's also disappointing. So, yay. Oh, Foster Babe Linda, fantastic. I don't really use my Discord server for gaming. A lot of people will use it just as a community center, especially for, you want to catch up on your favorite creators. Generally, they'll have a Discord where, you can check all that out. Now, I don't know what we're going to do about Bubs. I'm going to have to do a bit of fiddling. And the problem is I've got to also try and entertain y'all at the same time. Okay, so apparently his computer did a thing. Not sure what it is. He'll be right back in. Cool. Not long to go. Tell us if my audio's good or if I sound like shit. Hopefully Bubs will be able to jump back in, or I'll have to do some fiddling to fix it. But this is problematic. Do let us know, guys, if this so far is if you're getting the buffering that I'm getting. I'm looking at the stream and it's buffering pretty bad. Dropped frames, 64% dropped frames. That's not very good at all. I don't know what's going wrong, but it doesn't seem to like me today. G'day Skywise, good to see you. I don't know what's going on here. This is just redonkulous. It crashed to force an update. Okay, that's no good. Okay, so Bubs might be a little while. But obviously today we are talking about the sentencing of a cardinal predator, that wanker Pell. It's a very strange feeling, and I think especially seeing the victims, the family of the victims reacting, I think there's going to be a lot of emotions, and I don't think it would be fair to say that they're going to be just elated, because that was definitely something you saw when the sentencing was laid down, that they were very happy and relieved to see that he's finally being charged and sentenced. But I don't think anyone would be able to stand there honestly and say they were happy with the punishment and that the punishment fits the crime. That's where I think, at least for my part, I could not reconcile it. Oh, you're a legend. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of buffering. And we're still waiting on Bubs to rejoin, unfortunately. And then he can start his stream, and we'll be alright. But for now, it's just me with a very buffery stream. And no one to talk to, because Bubs' computer sucks. Oh, it wasn't even, sorry, not even his computer, it was literally Hangouts. Yeah, fair enough, Mark. Sorry, buddy. Have a good one. I've got to work. I need a new computer. That's what I'm blaming it on. My computer sucks. And it's loud. Just constant humming in the background. Alright, I'll fix my little doodad. Do. That'll do. That's a bit better. Oh, hey, well, I'm doing alright. I'd be doing a lot better if this bloody buffering wasn't happening, and if every other tech issue that we're facing wasn't happening. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating. This is why I don't do streams very often, guys, because it doesn't work out so well. Especially on, like, I gotta admit, the last couple of days it has been ridiculously hot, so my computer is probably overheating a little bit, because it overheats at the best of times. Now, hopefully, I'll hear something back from Bubs, and to be fair, look at that percentage, Australia, yep. Alright, poor dude, he's having a bit of trouble. We'll hopefully get him back in no time, but what I will do... Yeah, no, it's definitely on my end, guys, because, like, OBS is telling me more than, what is it, 65% frames dropped. Like, it's not putting out what it should be. I don't know, maybe something in my settings has, like, gone back to reset sort of thing, and I have to re-fiddle with it. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so I've got I better ask. Just asking Bubs how long he's going to be. Not exactly that, but hopefully he'll get here soon. Chrome, there was an update, that may be an issue. Yeah, well, I think that's what's happened to Bubs. What about me? Have I got anything saying I need to update? Nope. Mine's probably already, like, mine automatically updates itself, so mine's probably already done. But it's frustrating. Why? Oh, well. Wonder if I can switch over to something more entertaining, like my face. Your face, man, in your face. Let's do this. There we go, look at that. My pretty face for you. Looks a little bit better than the bloody Hangouts thing, doesn't it? Somebody's NIC is not up to the task. I wonder whose. Oh, Jesus, this is no good. Can't have a stream like this. But yes, it is, isn't it? Sorry about the buffering. I won't lie, going in, I expected Pell to be sentenced with a, at least over a decade. Just given his age and everything, I wouldn't expect him to go, 2 life sentences or anything. But, I really thought they'd give him at least more than a decade. But they didn't. I mean, every individual crime as they listed and then announced what the sentence would be for it, it just seemed like it was nothing. Like, they were literally, they were saying it in months because it was that short, and then they added it all cumulatively, so it's so pathetic. Like, at first, we're counting it up, you know, going, oh, yeah, 8 years, and then 10 years, and then he says, no, it's all going to be accumulative, or it's all going to be, you know, just so disappointed. I don't know, like, because I unfortunately didn't catch the entire thing. It went for a while, and I only saw it at a customer's house, and that they had it playing, and I had to continue working, so it was a bit difficult to really focus on what was being said. But surely I don't quite understand how they've come to such light sentencing. The only way I can really justify it, at the moment anyway, and I'm not saying this is what happened, I'm just saying this is a justification that I use to, you know, not feel better about it, but feel like there was some rationale to it, that something happened, which is that I reckon the Catholic Church has paid off, or at least to an extent, as much as they could, our legal system. There is no way somebody else, anyone else, whether, you know, unless they have significant power, gets that sort of a mild slap on the wrist for something so awful. I don't understand it. I really don't. Well, what's annoying is that, I sort of do. What's annoying is that I've studied our law and how our courts work. Not extensively, I'm no lawyer, and I mean, I definitely need to hit the books again to do a few refreshers, but I do vaguely understand why there is such bullshitting about for it. It's just painful to see. It's just difficult. Now, strangely enough, how far behind is my stream? Because it still hasn't updated according to my thing that I've got my manicams up. I don't know what you mean, Brian. I'm not too sure. I'm not very tech savvy, and you know, not as much as I should be, at least. Oh, look, we have a Bubs back in town. All right, I'll switch that over. There we go. Wonder if this works. I can see Bubs, I cannot hear. I can hear a Bubs.
Thank fuckity cunting fucks. God damn it. Let me just move my lamp closer so it's not so dark in here.
Yeah, you're right, brother. Oh, damn. That's interesting.
Don't get me wrong, this is a grim fucking situation, but I don't want my room to be too dark. Otherwise, people won't see me.
Oh, that's fair enough. We're having all sorts of issues.
Yeah, we are, evidently.
Because, I mean, we're live on mine, and it is buffering like a motherfucker.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I talked to a couple other people, and they're having similar internet issues. So, you're already live right now?
Yeah. Certainly am. You can go live and do your intro, do whatever you need to do, and we can get into it.
So people have heard this whole thing?
What? No. Well, us here, yeah, of course.
Okay. Alright, I'm clicking the start broadcast button
I think we went live. I went live just before you crashed out.
That sounds about right. Alright. So, I am now at least live on my channel, and presumably NotJah's.
Hey.
Yeah, so, George Pell. Let me mute my own thing. So, George Pell, 6 years.
Yeah. Friggin' pathetic.
That's less than a slap on the wrist. When you consider what the fuck it is he did versus
And how prolific he was.
what he got. No, like if you just consider what he did and what he got as punishment, it is less than a slap on the wrist. It is less than a much younger priest getting moved to another parish every half decade or so. It is less than that. He has not received anywhere near justifiable punishment for his outright crime, which I don't remember his title, but the name of, I'm guessing, the prosecutor was Kid. I was watching the live stream earlier when Kid was talking, and he was elaborating on the crimes that Pell committed. I would be lying if I said it didn't make me sick to my fucking stomach.
Yeah.
And here he is. All he gets is 6 years. It's an insult, at the very best, to the living memory of one of the people who died of heroin overdose. Presumably because of what Pell did to him.
But did you hear that the court officially found that Pell was not responsible for that?
He was not responsible for mouth-fucking a 13-year-old boy?
For the boy's death. That's what the court found.
I'm sorry, but if somebody picks up a heroin habit in such a close proximity to the time when he was, I mean, each of the victims, each of the first two victims had anonymity. They were referred to as J and R from what I saw from the live stream of the sentencing. But it was such a small window of time, and one of them picks up a heroin habit and dies from it. I'm sorry. I don't care what the Australian court says. The two are connected. The two are connected very directly. Okay?
Yes.
So, at the very least, in my opinion, the death of the anonymous victim R is on Cardinal Pell.
And I'd agree with that.
And the death, not only the addiction, but the death of anonymous victim R is on Cardinal Pell as well. And the fact that the Australian court found otherwise is a slap to the face of that victim's memory. It is. There is no other way to put it. It is, on its absolute face, disgusting. And I know NotJah saw probably more of the live sentencing than I did, but the live sentencing I saw, I can't even imagine having something like that happen to me. I literally can't conceptualize it in my head. And here we have this literally happening to two 13-year-old Australian boys. I won't go into what it is Kid said, because I'm not sure what we can actually get away with saying here, because we're not actually a news organization. But
yeah, that's true.
Jesus fucking Christ. The very idea that I'm sorry for all the pauses, I really am. This isn't normally me,
right.
but
because it's something
just
to
consider
process.
for a second what happened. What happened to these two people? What happened to every other person that Cardinal Pell covered up?
And that is a very long list.
Well, yeah, because he's... How long has he been a fucking cardinal in Australia? How long was he treasurer?
Yeah, I'm not sure about cardinal and exacts, but I know he's been a very large sort of figurehead for a good couple decades. Because, I mean, that he was involved in the ones in the 90s, you know, like when that was the big thing was happening then. His was one of the big names. And yet he sort of slipped out of it as if he had no direct involvement and he didn't know anything about it. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we're talking about a guy who clearly has been involved, if not in cover-up, you know, if not in cover-up, but also actively perpetrating these crimes as long as I've been alive. And for those who aren't in the know, in 6 months, I'll be 33 years old.
You don't look a day over 21.
How many victims can Cardinal Pell have had in that amount of time? How many victims can the priests under Cardinal Pell have had that Cardinal Pell covered up in that amount of time?
And one that strikes me, I can't remember his name, but I know there's a victim that's rather prominent on television because he's normally in the audience for these trials and stuff, and he seems to be very vocal. He's an older gentleman. He's no young, like he's not a 20-year-old or anything, and he was a direct victim.
This is related rather directly. Because at the time of the Pennsylvania grand jury investigation, before Cardinal Pell came under fire, he was still the treasurer of the Vatican.
My stream just dropped offline for a couple seconds. Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh shit.
That is my atrocious dropped frames. I don't know what. Like I know. Brian, you had some suggestions, didn't you? And I just don't know what I'm doing. Maybe if you can, chat to me in like a direct message somewhere where we can, I don't know, I can show you how stupid I am without it being public.
No.
It's so annoying. And I tell you what, it was really hard to focus on anything else after hearing that, because, as I said before, it's so far from what was expected. And I'd even said before they'd handed down the actual sentence, and as they were doing their pre-up bullshit, I basically said to the homeowner lady, like, they obviously got, because she was just like, get on with it, just tell us, you know. And I'm like, look, it's a big, massive international case. Like, the eyes of the world are on this. They want to get it right. I can't fucking believe I said that. Because then, when they fucking told us the sentencing, I was like, great. They didn't get it right. They got it really fucking wrong.
No.
And I knew immediately that everyone's going to be pissed about this. Like, everyone at least.
Everyone with a brain is going to be pissed about this, okay? And even the people that have... I'm not going to say that. Because there are Catholics out there that have brains. Unfortunately, they're indoctrinated. The problem that the Catholics are going to face with this is they're going to be pissed off for all the wrong reasons. They're going to be pissed off because he got sentenced in the first place. Well, you're just coming after Catholics. Well, you know what? Yeah, we are coming after Catholics right now in this instance. Okay? We are coming after Catholics because this is a massive institutional problem in the Catholic Church. You know what? Who should logically come after the Catholic Church? Everyone else that runs a religious congregation. Because this is not just a Catholic problem. But you know what? Right now we're talking about Catholics.
Well, Bubs, that's half the reason why, and because a lot of these other, especially Christian religions, hold Catholics to be especially bad. They they will use that as their advantage of their propaganda to be this sort of Christian instead of Catholics. Catholics are the pinnacle of Christendom. But at the same time, a lot of these other religions do have the same problems, like you said, and so they have no interest whatsoever in making light of any of that, whether it's theirs or another religion. They would prefer it be hushed, because that's what they do. A lot
Of course
of
it
times.
would. They all would rather it be hushed. The Catholic Church would rather it be hushed. But the problem is, in pretty much every known religious institution, this sort of behavior is hushed.
Yes.
Yeah, and
And not
that's
only
why I say
hushed,
the next logical step is everyone else.
it's not only hushed, but it's also propaganded, be it good or bad. So, for example, you'll have basically Catholics who will completely refuse to believe that any of that is true. That he's being taken down for some other bullshit, that they just couldn't get him on, and so this is what they're going to throw at him to slander his name and slander Catholics and all that. It's the same thing I'll refer to with Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia at the moment. They're being arrested and tortured. And that's not like they're hushing, they're quietening the real reasons, and they're obviously just focusing on that. Oh, they think we're a terrorist organization, but we're a peaceful, loving religion, God faithful and all that crap. But they will propagate it to their own flock as martyrs, as they are the heroes. They are the people you should be like. It's like the kids with no blood. They show off those kids that died because they were refused blood as martyrs, as heroes, as something for the young kids to be like. You should be so lucky to die for God.
You know what? I'm going to say this, okay? If the Catholics or the JWs are actually peaceful by my standards, by which I mean they don't propagate hate, they don't propagate the idea of bigotry or discrimination, I will invert this pair of scissors so the sharp ends are on the outside, and I will go to town on myself. Okay, I will fucking do that. The day the Catholics or the JWs meet my definition of the word peace, okay? But it'll never happen. So I guess I'm safe.
I couldn't help but think that, wherever you were going with that, I just couldn't stop picturing you taking those scissors to your beard, and I was like, anything but that.
Oh no, I would never do such a thing. I was talking about my bum.
Yeah, I know. I had a feeling, but because I was obviously looking at your face and the scissors were there, I was like, you know what I'm going to picture.
But okay, so let me put it to you this way, right? I was recording a video for Thursday with the Bible Belt Atheist, and during one of our breaks, I saw the link to Cardinal Pell's sentencing, which was, the final sentencing, that he only spends 6 years in prison. If the Bible Belt Atheist were here right now, he would tell you exactly what my reaction sounded like. I was fucking furious when I saw it.
Yeah, no, I was quite the same, and it was difficult because I was at literally just watching the television. I'd stopped my work, came back because the homeowner had called me out saying, "Hey, I think they're going to say it." So I've come out and we're watching, and yeah, I was primed to say some very nasty things, and I just couldn't. I literally just had to bite my tongue, and I walked off into another room and immediately tweeted the what I'd heard, watching it live, and he got 6 years. I was just so pissed. Like, I couldn't. It's just, I can't describe the feeling. It's really frustrating because you know that there's nothing that can be done, like now, and at the same time, you're just like, that wasn't justice. That shouldn't be the way it went down, like that. But having said, like that's the way the world is sometimes. You're going to get things not go quite the way you expect or want them to. After all, you guys do have an orange weirdo as president.
Yeah, and as you very well know, I'm particularly proud of that.
No, I mean...
But this verdict actually has me wanting to do something. It actually has me wanting to go to church on Sunday and record the whole hour and whatever it is now, because I haven't been to church in years, and see what it is my local church has to say about Cardinal Pell, because I am almost certain it will come up.
Yeah, that would actually be fascinating to hear. I'd even be curious to know what people here, the local Catholic churches here, feel about it. One, this is pretty random, but one article I read before the sentencing came down was written by a Catholic lady who was confused by the people who are in his defense. And she was basically standing up as a Catholic going, I'm ashamed of my church. I'm ashamed of the people, who are defending or trying in any way to, pretend he's a decent person, or, all this sort of stuff. And, it wasn't too in-depth. It was religious, sure. But it was at least somewhat nice to see that, yeah, there are still some out there with just, they're humans, they're at least got human morals still, generally speaking. It was nice to see that not all Catholics were trying to defend the situation or hush it. Because that's something that among witnesses you would get if they're told to hush it, or if they're told not to listen, that's what you get. You don't get many that, the moment they start doubting that, they're already coming out like they are fading. They're no longer really going to be a witness.
Yeah. So what I'm actually looking up right now is it's a video of mine. It's my video talking about the sex abuse summit that I worked pretty fucking hard on with Gray Skeptic. And we briefly go over what a few Catholic victims had to say. So here it is, just as soon as I find it. And it loads and decides to not be a gigantic pain. NotJah, do I have a wrench?
Not sure, dude. You might have to say something in my chat.
Okay, I do have a wrench. So
I might have to mute for a second.
The link I just put in your chat and my chat is the video to my assessment of the entire 4-day sex abuse summit at the Vatican that I did with Gray Skeptic. And at one point in that video, I talk about a few different testimonies from Catholic victims. And just as soon as my computer decides to cooperate, I'm going to actually give you a couple of those testimonies. Because this is absurd what the Catholic Church has gotten away with. You still there, NotJah?
It's alright. I had to mute for a little bit there.
Okay. I thought this had frozen.
Yeah, sorry. Fair enough. I'm having trouble with my thing. I'm trying to get the chat bot to work, and it's just not doing what it's meant to do. I got the little purple box beside me in the screen where the chat's meant to pop up, and it's just not working. It's just not doing what it's one of them days, I swear, hey. But oh well, we'll have to live with it for now.
It is one of those days. So I have it pulled up now. Here is a few things that people who came to protest on our side of the Vatican sex abuse scandal in Rome had to say. Alessandro Battaglia said, "I've been waiting for 7 years. Others have been waiting for much longer. After 4 days, we get a piece of paper full of banality, and this is the church in which we're expected to believe. We are very disappointed." Francesco Zanardi said, "We're being taken for a ride. We expected a concrete response, but nothing useful has come out of this. In this speech, the church makes itself out to be the victim, but we are the victims." Then there's Peter Eiley. "A child will be harmed today due to what the Pope didn't say today. What he's actually saying to all bishops is to keep on covering it up. He talks about families. Well, he is protecting his family. Why can't he enact zero tolerance into church law? He has the power to do that. The problem is his internal conflict. Does he protect the priests within his family or the victims of abuse?" And here's something formerly Father Alberto Athi had to say. And this is a guy who left the priesthood after he reported sexual abuse to his bishop, and his bishop told him to shut up or leave. Alberto Athi had to say that he was... where is it? So no, okay, I don't have this quote for some reason. But essentially, this is a guy who left the priesthood because he was ignored by his bishop when he tried to report sexual abuse. Those are just a few of the testimonies that the news media got. It's really incredible. Man, fucking the amount of coverage that the church has.
Okay, so
it's really amazing. I'm sorry to cut you off. I really am.
No, you're right. I jumped in. My bad.
There are conservatives in this country and even religious liberals that will say, well, I mean, you go after Christianity so much, why don't you talk about Islam? Well, Islam is almost as big of a problem as Catholicism in the world now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Islam is just a little tiny bit bigger. They have 0.6 billion more people following, and that's Islam overall. Not a specific set of Islam or sect of Islam, whereas the Catholics have about 1.2 billion people worldwide. Okay? So the Catholic The Catholic Church has 1.2 billion followers worldwide. Islam, in all its various denominations, has 1.8. So you tell me which is actually bigger, the Catholic Church or any given sect of Islam. It's the Catholic Church by a fucking 1,000 miles.
Of course.
It's not close.
You still have to agree that that's not necessarily the measurement that they are judging it all on, by what is more, you know, like they're going, what about them?
It's whataboutism.
Absolutely, it is whataboutism. But at the same time, I feel like some people, like for example, somebody might have grown up in a more Middle Eastern area, they're more suited to being able to, or not Middle Eastern, sorry, a Muslim area, wherever that may be, they'd be more suited to be able to come back at Islam in their own way, like in a way that you, coming from being a Catholic, can come after the Catholics, like me, as having been a witness, can come after the witnesses. So look, at the end of the day, if somebody says that to me, I could understand where they're coming from, in that that's just something they're wanting to focus on, like that's their deal. So, well, my thing though is, I didn't come from a Muslim background. It's not my place, even though I agree that there are problems and it could be bigger, smaller, whatever, but that's just not my place in the world. I have my focus. You know, if you want going against Muslims, or so to speak, you would go for Armin, for example. You know, he's got one of the best reputations, in my opinion, of being anti-Islam in a peaceful way. That's somebody I would put, like, I'd go, look, if you want that, there it is. That's not to say, you know, I have to do that, or you have to do that. You know, so there are ways around it without just going, oh, well, that's whataboutism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the biggest argument, okay? You know, that's trying to inject an entirely different argument into a discussion. Yeah, we can talk about Islam. Fucking fine. Right now, we're talking about Catholicism, so let's talk about Catholicism.
And that's where, or at least in my opinion, where I'd say the old phrase, what's that got to do with the price of eggs in China? Like, you're bringing in such a random topic. What the hell has that got to do with the situation that we're talking about? You know, like...
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it.
We have focus on talking about this, and then on another day, if you want a discussion on that, we can have a focused discussion on that. But for now, there is no advantage to going, you know, oh, what about this? And if you're talking about this, then what about the price of eggs in China? Fucking who fucking cares?
Oh, you see, that I'm gonna disagree with you there. You know, it's a fantastic way to deflect from the conversation, because while people like you and I aren't going to be fooled like this, and while people like you, I, and you know, the vast majority of the people that watch us and take us seriously aren't going to take that seriously, the mainstream media is going to take that seriously every day of the week, particularly the more conservative media.
They're generally not actually about serious content, though. You're talking mainstream, you're looking at
but
hits,
they're the ones that are taken seriously.
Sadly.
It's people like us that aren't taken very seriously because, well, we're not mainstream media. You know, and...
Well, at least there's a bit of a push in another direction. Like, it hasn't gone necessarily all in the direction we'd hope when it comes to the trust in the media and the mainstream. However, there is at least a strong push away from the reliability of mainstream, which at the moment is helpful for our cause in a possible way. Like, you can look forward to going, well, it leaves this door open, whether we can manage to push our way, especially as the internet media, to push our way onto this stage of reliability and validity that mainstream have. It's still a question as to how it all pans out. But at least the distrust in mainstream, and rightfully so, whether that's led people to go online and find more reliable sources or just find ridiculous sources, both are true. It's just a matter of where, you know, how much of a reliable thing we can push online while we're in this sort of middle ground. Because ultimately what we don't want is for this to, you know, in the next couple of years, end up having a mainstream politician bringing back trust in mainstream television and news media, because then it'll close the door on the internet's ability to push themselves as a valid and reliable source, or in our sense anyway. I had a few things, going back to Cardinal Pell, I had a few things I'd popped up I actually wanted to basically just say, and so people get an idea of what we're actually talking about. And I also do have the population stats for the Catholics here that you wanted.
Awesome.
But basically, this is a sentence breakdown for Pell. So he's got charge 1, an indecent act against victim R, 2 years and 6 months. So for this one indecent act against the victim, only 2 years and 6 months. Charge 2.
Yeah.
Sexual penetration against victim J. That
specifically under Australian law, as I understand it, sexual penetration of a victim under 16 years of age.
Yes, of a minor. This is the one, like, I mean, there could be nuance to some of them that you're like, whatever, it could be argued, whatever. This is the one that really struck me. 4 years. Are you fucking kidding me? Only 4 years. For sexually penetrating a minor.
Which victim was this, R or J?
J.
J?
It's unbelievable. Charge 3. Indecent act against victim J, where Pell touched victim's genitals. 2 years and 6 months. I mean, how fucking backwards ass buckety is that? Like, charge 4, indecent act against victim J, where Pell touched his own genitals in victim's presence. This is the one where they've decided, you know what, it's not even long enough to say years anymore, 15 months. For what I'm assuming by the sounds of it is masturbating in front of a kid. Charge 5, indecent act against victim J during the second episode 2 months later. So he's done the same thing again later. 18 months. What's that, like 1.5 years or something like that?
Not yeah, 1.5 years.
Fucking hell. That's absolutely disgusting.
Let's take a quick break from the charges against Pell and just remind everybody that Cardinal Pell was the treasurer of the Vatican while he was Cardinal of Australia. Okay? This is a guy who had the ear of a pope since Pope John Paul II.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how well most of you remember JP2 because, well, it's been a pretty long time. I mean, I was pretty young when John Paul II kicked the bucket.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I was still in high school when John Paul II stopped being a thing. Then it became Benedict XVI.
Oh, God, I remember that. That guy, I never liked the look of that guy. Like, he just has evil face. Resting evil face.
And this guy, Cardinal Pell, he has had, at the very least, the ear of the Pope for roughly the same amount of time I've been alive, which, again, is nigh on 33 years. Just a friendly reminder. This guy has been informing policy for just upwards of 3 decades in the Catholic Church.
And that's another thing, yes, is because this is only talking currently, what was it, 2 or 3 victims directly, and there are only 2 named here, or named J and R.
Okay.
But
yeah,
there's
J and R, but there's also...
I was going to say, that's not including the 3rd, I thought, but...
Technically, and unknown number of victims he covered up for.
No, well, this is what I'm sort of getting to, is that either way, this is just one count, one case. And there have been many other cases, there have been many other reports, there have obviously, as you say, been many other cover-ups. And to have such a record and to be able, like, it sort of has to be a way, set up in a way that this is very easy, because it seems like it is a regular thing. Like, it's not like it was a, secret naughty thing one time and, it was all hidden. It seems to be somewhat brazen, and like out in the open almost, but it's still held secret within the church confines. And so what confuses me is, after all these decades, who in their right mind lets their kids go near that person? I could understand if you still trust your priest and you still trust your church or whatever, like, as a religious person. But if you were facing Pell as your, as you're going to, hand your kid off to religious school and he's there, who actually would do that? We have known about this guy for decades. I cannot fathom a person who would be so ignorant and to the obvious facts that they would still let their child go to be in his hands. I can't understand. I don't blame them if they don't know or whatnot. That's not their necessarily. It's not their fault at all. They shouldn't have to worry about that. But I can't understand, like, if I knew about this as a kid in the 90s, and this was just a common thing with the Catholics. I mean, granted, I didn't know about the JW, so that goes in hand there. I'm going to have to mute, though.
Right. Well, while NotJah's muted for just a second, I want to talk about, real quickly, the different things that are trending on Twitter. Right now, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to the Cleveland Browns. Who fucking cares? Something about the New York Giants. Who fucking cares? Oh, wait, that's Odell Beckham again.
I saw
the Browns
Karras
are trending again. Once again, that's Odell Beckham Jr. And The Bachelor is trending. There's not a goddamn word about this trending on Twitter.
Okay.
I feel like we're the only ones talking about this.
Before you jump onto that, I'll correct you in a second, because the trends are personalized, and the Pell thing is my number one top trending on my side.
I don't follow the New York Giants or the Cleveland Browns, so...
No, well, I was going to ask you about that, because...
I definitely don't follow The Bachelor, so...
I'm really curious. Had virtually the exact same Twitter thing as you've just described. And, like, it was every single one was about the Browns and about that, whoever the hell that person... I don't know.
Odell Beckham Jr.? I hate myself for knowing that.
But, because at first I'm like, I looked at what happened to her and I'm like, I must have been like a Twitter glitch. And so it's happening to you. It might actually be a Twitter glitch, because it doesn't normally give off every single list in the trending the same topic, which is what it did pretty much.
This is top trend. This is trends for me. I have never once shown interest in the NFL. It's never happened on Twitter.
I don't think Karras is all interested either, to be honest. I mean, don't quote me. She might be, and I don't know, but she doesn't strike me as somebody that's too into it.
To be honest, if I were to be even remotely interested in football, and I am, frankly, I love college football, particularly, wait for it, Ohio State football.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I love Ohio State football. I'm about it, man. I live for the season. But you know what I'm concerned about right now? I'm concerned about Cardinal George Pell fucking a couple of 13-year-old boys, one of which is dead now because he got addicted to heroin and fucking killed himself because of it.
So I've got top trends for me is Pell, or hashtag Pell, talking about the Cardinal Pell sentencing. Somebody called Felicity Huffman, no idea. Johnny Depp, no idea what's going on with him, but sure. Amber, maybe something with Johnny and Amber. Meh. And then Kid, as in the person, the prosecutor or whatever, yeah. So that's still in the next... but after that, nothing really relevant. It's actually, even for me, Giants, Odell, and then Browns, Odell. Oh, wait, Vatican just popped up. It literally just updated. So it's either the Giants or it's the Vatican or Johnny Depp.
And in just a moment, we're going to have the Bible Belt Atheist jumping into the live stream. So
cool.
As soon as he's in here, we can ask him what my reaction was to the 6-year sentencing.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Why not?
It's not good.
Did my reaction still... is not good. I want to know the last sentence. I'll restart. The last census.
The Catholic population of Australia.
Yeah, yes, we have on record. 52% of Australians classify themselves as Christian. 22.6% identifying themselves as Catholic. So that's 22.6% of the 52.1%.
So. Very nearly 1/4 of all Aussies are Catholic. I wonder if the Catholic Church had any pull.
Oh,
because in the United States, groups smaller than that have roughly equally as much pull when it comes to policy.
They've been trying to get, as I said, they've been trying to get this dude for decades. The reason they've had such struggles is because of the push against them by the Catholics. Like, that's not unknown either here. Now, they have a lot of sway. They have a lot of power.
Yeah. And that's the real big point. Hey, BBA. Welcome.
Hey. What's up?
What's up? Welcome.
So, BBA, before we head anywhere else, do you remember how I responded when I saw on Twitter that George Pell only got 6 years?
Yeah, how could I forget? I mean, shit.
Yeah, would you care to explain that to the audience who is ignorant of said response?
Oh boy, he was how should I put it? Livid? to put it nicely.
Livid's a good word, I like it.
Yeah, he was quite livid about it. Definitely had a few cuss words thrown around from both him and I, and yeah, what was it that, I don't know if you've said this already, but because I just hopped in here and I've only been watching the past couple of minutes of the YouTube end of the stream, but he was saying about how he wished that he would have gotten that if he got the 6-year sentence, that on the last day.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, did you not tell him that?
I haven't told him that yet.
Oh, okay. How about you do the honors then?
Okay, so let's all bear in mind for a moment, those of you who know my content and have some view into the content of my character. I am not a violent person. By the way, BBA, you're not showing up as your avatar. You're showing up as, you're showing up as a silhouette. But I am neither a violent person or someone who supports extrajudicial justice in any way. But I would definitely throw a celebration and would not shed a tear for Cardinal Pell if on the eve of his 5th year and 363rd day of his imprisonment, I would not shed a tear and I would celebrate, actually, if a big burly guy named Tina paid him a visit in the shower and gave him a shank as a congratulations for getting out.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, my silhouette avatar might be due to my shitty internet connection right now. So.
Fair enough.
Whatever you gotta say, VBA. Yeah, it's.
Any objection to bringing our boy Russ in?
Bring Russ in.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, I'm probably only going to be on here for a few minutes because I'm figured I'd just pop in here while my video uploaded.
Yeah, man.
So I'll
probably doesn't
be
help with
heading
the
out.
internet connection.
Yeah. I'll probably be getting out of here later on in a little bit after this uploads and get to hitting the sack.
By the way, everybody, if you were to hop over to my channel on Thursday, you will see the Bible Belt Atheist here. Many of you probably already know him in what looks like a very early Spider-Man outfit.
God damn it.
I told you I'd keep that shit in the video. Now I'm advertising it.
Yeah. Let's just save that part for the
Spider-Man.
Let's just save that for the video.
Sorry, dude.
By the way, the Spider-Man costume was not planned. That was completely coincidental.
It was, but it was so good. It was so good, and I'm glad you did it.
It was so good. Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Well, I sincerely doubt it because BBA's not of consenting age. But
technically, I am actually.
You're 18?
I don't even want to know.
No, the age of sexual consent is 16.
Oh yeah, I forget that the United States has these weird laws.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Now, where is
well, let's move on from that awkwardness.
Welcome, Russ. How is the piggy today?
Hey, we have the pig man. How you doing, Russ?
Oh yes, I'm here, and it's great. Other than all this shit about Cardinal Pell.
Oh yeah, what are your thoughts on Cardinal Pell, buddy?
Oh, I believe he should get a whole hell of a lot longer than 6 years. I mean, the fact that he has pretty much destroyed 2 children's lives alone should be enough to get him, hell, a lot longer than 6 years.
Yeah, just
minimum.
By itself.
He destroyed 2 lives minimum.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah. I mean, and there's no telling how many other lives he has destroyed over the years. And so, to get only 6 years, I mean, hell, I'm 12 years to me wouldn't be enough, but at least it'd be a lot better than fucking 6 years.
So I've been trying to think of a good comparison of
really.
You'd get more time in jail for, you know, such and such of a crime. But
yeah, you get more jail time if you are in possession of marijuana here in the United States. That's
yep. Of course.
For possession of marijuana for at least 3 times, you get a whole hell of a lot longer than 6 years. And
isn't it life or something in Los
It just depends
Nevada?
on the thing. Oh, shit. My wife's calling me.
All right, dude. Yeah, I think that, I mean, it might have been a while ago, but I remember there being very harsh, like a life sentence for a 3-timer or something like that, even for the smallest buds in Nevada. I'm not sure if it's still like that, of course, but I know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Computer is a dumpster fire. It's
and
old
it's back.
And should not be streaming as well as it is.
Yeah, mine is like temperamental because this is so much worse than even my, like, normally it's not great, but this is bad. So anyway, if y'all can hear my stream, I'm going to end up, we'll go over to Bubs's. I'll quickly try and grab a link.
I just left a comment with my name in it. Search for that. You'll be able to find it pretty quickly. Also, I titled this live stream "Cardinal Pell has been sentenced."
Yeah, I've got Bubs' show. Watch the rest.
It would probably be easier to leave a link, wouldn't it?
Yep, I've just thrown down a link in the chat.